It's Friday, May 21st, and you're watching The Great Lost Rewatch. Today, we're talking about what they died for. Starting off in the sideways world, Jack wakes up and he has another nick on his neck very similar to the one that he discovered when he was on Oceanic 815. His son David is just, happy-go-lucky kid again, just like, hey dad, what's up? Let's hang out, let's play catch. Jack gets a call from what we think is Oceanic Airlines saying they found his father's body, but we discovered that it's Desmond. What is he up to? Island Ben remembers being beaten up so much in the Island storyline that he starts to have flashes of it. Desmond then goes to the LA Police Department and he turns himself in to Sawyer, and Sawyer locks him up, of course, with both Saeed and Kate. Dr. Linus runs into his favorite student, Alex. Her mother is there, and of course it's Rousseau. And can I just say, well-kept, clean, sane Rousseau is like the freakiest thing to me. And there's this weird kind of flirtation going on there. It kind of makes me uncomfortable. Locke then goes to visit Jack again. When this whole kind of reason and fate coincidence thing happened and John is starting to believe again, I got really excited and really emotionally moved. Like, yes, this is it. This is the John Locke that I remember loving so much in season 1.
I think I'm ready to get out of this chair.
Desmond has made a deal with whoever is driving the police van, and of course it's Ana Lucia, and then Hurley comes and pays her vast amounts of money. So it seems at this point anyway that everything is like going to converge at this concert. Everyone has a reason to be there, I think, for the most part. On the island, Jack stitches up Kate with the basic black thread, which is a huge callback to the pilot episode. Hurley sees a young Jacob who still is moody and wants his ashes, and he grabs them from Hurley and runs off. Hurley chases after him, and it's not young Jacob anymore, it's old Jacob. I don't understand what the point of that was. All of our survivors can see Jacob, not just Hurley. Kate is still just really reeling from the death of Saeed and Sun and Jin, and she wants to demand what they died for. Jacob says, a long time ago, I made a huge mistake. Understatement of the show. Because of this huge mistake, that's why there's the smoke monster. The reason that you're candidates, the reason that I've been watching you and I took you from your lives is because one of you has to take my place.
I chose you because you needed this place as much as it needed you.
And surprise, surprise.
This is why I'm here. This is what I'm supposed to do.
It's not a twist, I'll grant you that, but I would have been kind of disappointed if Jack wasn't the new Jacob. And in taking on this charge, Jack has to protect the island, and that includes first and foremost killing the smoke monster. If that's even possible, Jacob himself doesn't know. I like Sawyer's line when he said, well, I thought Jack had a god complex before. Jack drinks down the magical water, and then Jacob tells him this light source energy that the smoke monster desperately wants to get to is across the bamboo field where you landed when you first came here. Meanwhile, while all this was going on, Ben, Richard, and Miles, which it's really nice to see them again, it's been a long time, or it feels like it anyway since we've seen them, are making their way to Dharmaville to try and still blow up the plane, which, when they had that conversation, I was like, wow, they are like several steps behind in what's going on right now. Loved Miles' line when he asked Ben if he knew where he was going, and Ben said, I lived in these houses for years, I know how to get there, and Miles was like, well, I lived in them 30 years before you. a.k.a. last week. Then they discover that Widmore and Zoe were there. When I saw Zoe, I was like, God, is she not dead yet? Someone just kill her, which I kind of feel bad about now, although not really. Ben and Richard go outside to confront the smoke monster, and the smoke monster is pissed and just totally takes Richard out. Locke says, why don't you whisper it to me? And I did kind of roll my eyes and go, ugh, seriously? The days of whispering should be over. Ben shoots and kills Widmore because he doesn't want him to have the opportunity to save his daughter. We have the appearance of Ben kind of slipping back to the dark side. I don't believe it for a second. I think Benjamin Linus' last act, because I do think he's going to die in the finale, his last act will be one to help our survivors and be a redeeming act of good. Loch Ness Monster says Widmore told him that he brought Desmond Hume to this island because he is a measure of last resort, a failsafe, if you will. Where have we heard that key term before? Failsafe. Key term. The Loch Ness Monster is going to use Desmond to do something he cannot do himself. He is going to destroy the island. What are you guys doing to celebrate the Lost series finale? Let me know in the comments. I want to know if you're going to like parties. Are you dressing up in costume? I'm keeping it kind of simple and light, just a couple of friends, because I know that I'm probably going to embarrass myself and I want as few witnesses to that as possible. I am super, super excited to find out how the story is going to come to a conclusion. On the other hand, I don't know how I'm going to handle a post-Lost life. Certainly for a while, I'm going to have to go through a mourning period. We'll be back really soon to talk about what we thought about the end, and I will see you guys on the other side.
We're gonna need to watch that again.